A must question from essay type comes from internal auditing, this lecture and the next lecture, and it comprises over 20% of the weightage. So we have to work hard on that. Okay, I will read the question. I will try to explain to you how it works. One of the financial statement auditors. Now, financial statement auditor is the external auditor. Major concern is to ascertain whether internal control is designed to provide reasonable assurance. Now we just see the financial statement reliability, because he is focusing on more into financials. All other profit margins are maximized. It's a management headache, right? Chief Accounting Officer review all accounting transaction. This is like internal auditing. You just make a difference between internal and external. And corporate morale problems are addressed immediately, and effectively that is internal auditor is doing. But external auditor is more about the financial statements. Next question is the primary responsibility for establishing and maintaining internal control rests with management, because it cannot be with external auditor. Controller is going to follow what is the policy is being made, and treasurer will also follow a policy for treasury. But management, the CEO-led management is going to build a system in the company. Risk assessment is a process of identifying the risk, designed to identify potential event that may affect the entity. If you see other options, that will not do the. One is that assesses the quality of internal control. No, it's like more into identification of the risk, prioritization, management, all that. When the management of the sales department has opportunity to override the system of internal control of accounting, means this is a weak system, of course. If one department override means they take over the policies of another department, means there is a control weakness. So the weakness exists in control environment, because monitoring and day-to-day information is risk assessment. These are the components of the COSO that we discussed. But apparently, if there is a problem such like this, is more into environment control. Okay, let's start from this side.
A proper segregation of duty requires that an individual recording a transaction not compared to the accounting record of the assets itself.
It is a proper segregation of duty. This is we just discussed that recording should be one guy, custody should be one guy, reconciliation should be one guy. So in this option, he said recording a transaction not compare the accounting record of the asset. Means you are making, you are compiling, you are reviewing. This is not a good segregation of duties. Okay.
When considering internal control over securities, auditor is especially concerned about access to stock certificates by the corporate controller.
Yeah, let me read for. He says that in security, what is security? The shares, shares. What auditor is especially concerned? B part is access to stock certificate by a corporate treasurer, because treasurer has to keep with him. Is a treasury department, he will keep cash, other things with him, right? So no worries. But these stock certificates are being signed. If he has a blank format and he has authority to sign, so he will keep signing new as well, right? So ideally the custody of the certificate will be with someone else, and once it requires signature, he'll go and take the signatures. Next.
Procedure that does discourage the resubmission of vendor invoices after they have been paid is?
It is that procedure that best discourage. What happens sometimes is the purchase guys is giving invoices to treasury, or accounts payable is giving treasury department in original invoices, right, for payment. So But sometimes they can give, if you are a friend of supplier, you can bring 3 copies of original, 1 month, after 3 months another invoice. So they will pay if they don't have system, right? So how to do it is, the best thing is if treasury will keep original copy and cancel by themselves. So the next time any original invoice comes, they can see in their record that this is already paid and cancelled. So this option, the cancellation of vouchers by the treasury personnel, means treasury means treasurer means who's cashier, who is paying. Generally in the American language, treasury department is the payment department. They have money, inflow. Accounts payable has a record of whom to pay, like statement of account, and purchase department is going to purchase. So 3 departments are involved into a payment process. Next.
Organization mechanism and the processing of payroll is achieved by functional separation data that are built into the system. Which one of the following functional separation is not required for internal control process?
He says that segregation of duty is very important, but which of the following we don't need to segregate. No problem. For example, I am a payroll accountant and I record the maintenance also. So no append the conflict, right? So if you say D option, separation of payroll preparation and maintenance of year-to-date record, this is one of the options. Okay, next.
Internal control should follow certain basic principles to achieve its objectives. One of these principles is the segregation of functions. Which one of the following examples does not violate the principle of segregation of functions?
Means which of the following does not violate. Means if you do even, it is not going to create any problem for the segregation of duty, right? For example, I am say assigning authority, right? And I ask my assistant to count the checks for me, and it has no problem, right? So let's say the treasurer has the authority to sign checks, but give the signature block to the assistant treasurer to run the check signing machine, right? I give someone to just do the data entry, or you can say a small assistance work. Does not violate the segregation of duty. Next.
If internal control is well designed, 2 tasks that should be performed by different persons.
Yeah, okay, wait. He says that if it is a very good system, then there should be 2 tasks always should be done. This is we know. Authority to execute should be different. Recording should be different guy. Custody should be different guy, and reconciliation should be a different guy. So if you see recording of cash receipts and preparation of bank reconciliation should be always different guys. This is what is common sense. Next.
Which one of the following situations represents an internal control weakness in the payroll department?
Which of the following situations represent an internal control weakness in the payroll? Payroll department is a department who makes the salaries, calculations, and he prepares a payroll. So he says that which of the following it shows weakness, where one guy is doing 2 tasks and it is very dangerous. Yeah, okay.
Paychecks are distributed by the employee's immediate supervisor.
He says, suppose let's talk about a production. Production is very critical. We are making a tower. It's a construction site. Now, if the supervisor says, today 1,000 people work, we have to trust him because he's a supervisor, right? But